There is a kind of praise that is born in the middle of difficulty. Not the praise that comes easily when everything is going well and life is comfortable and God's goodness is obvious and visible and close enough to touch. Anyone can praise in those moments. That praise costs nothing. But there is another kind of praise. The kind that rises up when things are hard. The kind that chooses gratitude when grief is also present. The kind that looks at an unresolved situation and still says, God, you are good. God, you are faithful. God, I trust you. Not because the storm is over, but because you are in the storm with me. That is the kind of praise that Psalm 9 is made of. David wrote these words in the middle of real opposition, real enemies, real uncertainty. And yet from that place, he lifted his voice with all of his heart, and he praised. Tonight we are going to do the same thing. Whatever you walk through today, whatever is still unresolved, whatever fear is sitting quietly in the corner of your heart as you prepare for sleep, we are going to bring it all before God. And we are going to praise Him in the middle of it. Not instead of being honest about it, but alongside the honesty. Because praise and honesty can exist in the same breath. David proved that. And tonight, so will we. Take a slow breath. Let your body settle. Let the weight of the day begin to lift. And let us begin. Lord, I will praise you with all my heart. That is where Psalm 9 begins. Not with a request. Not with a complaint. Not even with a problem that needs solving. It begins with a choice. A deliberate, intentional, wholehearted choice to praise. And tonight, Father, I make that same choice. I will praise you with all my heart. Not with part of it. Not with the polished, presentable part that I show to the world. Not with the portion that has everything figured out and nothing left to worry about. With all of it. The tired part. The uncertain part. The part that is still waiting for answers. The part that has been hurt and is still healing. The part that sometimes doubts and then feels guilty for doubting. All of it. I bring all of it before you tonight and I say, you are worthy. You are worthy, Lord. Before I tell you what I need, before I ask you to move on my behalf, before I bring you the long list of things that are still unresolved in my life, I want you to know that I am here tonight first and foremost to give you praise, because you deserve it, not because of what you can do for me, but because of who you are. You are the Most High God, Creator of heaven and earth, the one who was and is to come, the one whose name is above every other name, the one whose kingdom has no end, the one whose love has no limit, the one whose faithfulness stretches from generation to generation like a river that never runs dry. Father, I praise you tonight with everything I have, with every breath in my body, with every beat of my heart, with the voice I have been given and the mind you created and the life that belongs entirely to you. I will praise you with all my heart. I will tell of all your wonderful deeds. Lord, let me do that right now. Let me stop and remember, because it is so easy to forget. The mind has a way of holding on to what hurts and releasing what heals. It remembers the nights that felt dark more easily than it remembers the mornings that came after. It rehearses the fears more readily than it recalls the faithfulness. So tonight I choose to remember deliberately. I remember the moments when I did not know how things were going to work out, and they worked out. The times the provision came from a direction I never anticipated. The times a door closed that I was desperate to walk through and I could not understand why. Until later I could see clearly that you were protecting me from something I could not see yet. The times I prayed and felt nothing and kept going anyway, and then looked back and realized you had been answering all along in ways I did not recognize in the moment. Your wonderful deeds, Father. I have seen them. I have lived them. And tonight I choose not to forget them. I remember your faithfulness in the seasons that tried to convince me you were absent. I remember your provision in the seasons that tried to convince me you did not care. I remember your healing in the places I was certain would never recover. I remember your peace in the moments I was certain I would fall apart. These are your wonderful deeds in my life, and I will tell of them. Not just tonight, but tomorrow. Not just in this prayer, but in the way I live. Let my life itself be a testimony to your faithfulness, Father. Let the story of what you have done in me be something I carry out into the world and share without shame. You have been good to me. Wondrously, faithfully, consistently good. And I will tell of it. I will be glad and rejoice in you. Father, gladness and rejoicing. I want to be honest with you about how those words feel tonight. Because some nights, gladness does not come naturally. Some nights the weight of everything that is unresolved sits so heavy on the chest that joy feels like something that belongs to a different season. A season when things are better. A season when the prayers have been answered and the relationships have been healed and the uncertainty has resolved itself and there is finally enough margin to breathe. But David did not wait for his circumstances to change before he rejoiced. He rejoiced in you. Not in his situation. Not in his comfort. Not in having everything figured out. In you. And that changes everything. Because you do not change when my circumstances change. You are the same yesterday and today and forever. You are just as worthy of joy in a season of waiting as you are in a season of harvest. You are just as praiseworthy in the valley as on the mountain. You are just as good in the silence as in the moments when I can feel you clearly. So tonight, Father, I choose to rejoice in you. Deliberately. Intentionally. As an act of faith rather than a reflection of how I feel. I rejoice that you are real. I rejoice that you are near. I rejoice that you hear this prayer. I rejoice that your love for me did not diminish today no matter what happened. I rejoice that tomorrow is already in your hands and your hands are good. I am glad in you tonight, Lord, not in my circumstances, in you. And that gladness, no one can take from me, because it is not based on what is happening around me. It is based on who you are, and who you are never changes. My enemies turn back. They stumble and perish before you. Father, I want to talk to you tonight about the things that have been opposing me, not just people, though sometimes it is people, but the forces that have been working against my peace, against my progress, against my faith, against my rest. The opposition that shows up in the form of fear and anxiety and discouragement and doubt. The enemies that live not outside me but sometimes inside my own head. In the voices that tell me I am not enough, that it is not going to work out, that I have missed my chance, that God has forgotten me. Those are my enemies tonight, Father. And your word declares that they turn back. They stumble and perish before you. Because here is what I have learned about the presence of God. When you show up, what opposes you cannot stand. Light does not negotiate with darkness. It simply illuminates it. Truth does not compromise with lies. It simply exposes them. Peace does not coexist with anxiety. It replaces it. So Lord, I invite your presence into every place where opposition has taken hold tonight. Into the anxious corner of my mind where worry has been setting up camp. Into the discouraged place in my heart where disappointment has been whispering that things will never change. Into the fearful place in my spirit where darkness has been suggesting that you are not as near as I thought. Come in, Father, and let everything that has been opposing your purposes in my life turn back. Let it stumble. Let it lose its power over me. Not because I am strong enough to defeat it, but because you are present. And in your presence, there is no room for what opposes you. You have upheld my right and my cause. You have sat on your throne judging righteously. Lord, this is the declaration I need to hear tonight. You have upheld my cause. There are situations in my life right now where I feel like I am not being seen fairly, where the outcome has not reflected the effort I have put in, where I have done the right thing and it has not been recognized, where I have been misunderstood, misrepresented, overlooked, or treated in ways that were not just. And it hurts, Father. I will not pretend it does not. But tonight your word reminds me of something that changes how I hold all of it. You are on your throne, judging righteously. You see everything that I see, and everything that I cannot see. You see the intentions behind the actions. You see the full story behind every partial version that has been presented. You see what was done in secret and what was done in the open. You see what was meant for good and what was meant for harm. And you judge righteously, not partially, not based on who has the most influence or the loudest voice or the most convincing story. Righteously, with perfect knowledge, with perfect justice, with perfect wisdom. So tonight, Father, I release my cases to you. Every situation where I feel like justice has not been served. Every relationship where I have been on the receiving end of something unfair. Every circumstance where things did not go the way they should have. I hand all of it to you, not in bitterness, but in trust. because you are a better judge than any court I could ever appeal to. And what you uphold stays upheld. And what you set right is right indeed. You have upheld my cause. I believe that tonight. The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. Father, I want to receive this truth deeply tonight. A refuge, a stronghold, a place of safety that is stronger than whatever is pressing in from the outside. I think about what a refuge means. It is not just a hiding place. It is a place that is stronger than what you are hiding from. A place where the thing pursuing you cannot reach you. A place where you can stop running, stop bracing, stop holding your breath, and simply be safe. That is what you are for me tonight, Lord. A refuge for the oppressed. And oppression comes in many forms, Father. It is not always a person standing over someone with power. Sometimes it is a situation that has been pressing down for so long that the weight of it has become hard to remember life without. Sometimes it is a financial pressure that never fully lifts. A health concern that sits in the background of every day. A grief that comes in waves. An anxiety that wakes up before I do. Whatever has been pressing down, you are a refuge from it. Tonight I run to you. I am not strong enough to fight everything that has been coming against me in my own strength. And I am done pretending that I am. Tonight I stop pretending. Tonight I lay down the performance of having it all together. And I run to my refuge. You, Lord. You are my stronghold in this time of trouble. Let these walls be thicker than what is pressing in. Let your presence be more real tonight than the thing I have been afraid of. Let me feel the safety of being hidden in you, of being inside something stronger than anything that has been trying to reach me. I am in you tonight, Father. And in you, I am safe. Those who know your name trust in you. For you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek you. Lord, I want to sit with those last words for a long moment. You have never forsaken those who seek you. Never. Not once. Not in all of human history. Not in all the thousands of years of people crying out to you from impossible situations. From desert wildernesses and lions' dens and prison cells and sick beds and gravesides in moments of complete and utter darkness. Not once have you turned away from someone who came to you. Father, I am coming to you tonight, seeking you. Not perfectly. Not with the right words or the cleanest heart or the most impressive track record. Just coming. The way a child comes to a parent in the dark. Not with a speech prepared. Just coming because there is nowhere else that feels as safe. And your word says you will not forsake me. You have never forsaken those who seek you. And I am seeking you right now. So I trust you, Father, because I know your name. I know what you have revealed yourself to be. Faithful, loving, just merciful, present, attentive, near. I know your name. And knowing your name is enough to trust you with everything I do not know. Everything I cannot see. Everything I cannot control. Everything that is still unresolved and uncertain and waiting. Your name is trustworthy, and I trust you tonight with all of it. He does not ignore the cries of the afflicted. Father, I need this to be true tonight. Not just true in general. True for me. True right now. True in this moment as I bring you the cries I have been holding inside all day. The ones I did not know how to say out loud. The ones that felt too raw or too repetitive or too small to bother you with. You do not ignore them. Not a single one. Not the whispered ones or the desperate ones or the ones that came out as groaning rather than words. Not the prayers that felt like they bounced off the ceiling. Not the cries that went up in the dark and seemed to disappear into silence. You did not ignore any of them. You heard every one. Lord, I want to name my cries before you tonight. Honestly. Without hiding them in polite language. I cry out to you about the things in my life that feel stuck. The situations I have prayed about so many times that I have started to wonder if I am praying in the right direction. The answers that have not come. The changes that have not happened. The healing that is taking longer than I thought I could bear. I cry out to you about the people I love who are hurting and I cannot fix it. The longing I carry for them that sometimes aches so deeply it feels physical. I cry out to you about the fear. The quiet, persistent fear that has been sitting at the edge of my thoughts for longer than I want to admit. About what might happen. About what might not happen. About the future and whether I am ready for it. You hear every one of these cries, Father. You do not ignore them. Not one syllable of one prayer from one of your children has ever gone unheard. Let me believe that tonight with everything I have. Have mercy on me, Lord. Look on my affliction and my distress. Father, there is something deeply freeing about this prayer. Have mercy on me. David was a king, a warrior, a man of great strength and great accomplishment, and yet he prayed these words. Have mercy on me. Look on my affliction and my distress, because there are things that strength cannot fix. There are situations that accomplishment cannot resolve. There are places inside every human heart where the only thing left to do is stop and ask for mercy. Lord, I ask for mercy tonight. Mercy for the ways I have fallen short this week. Mercy for the moments I chose my way instead of yours. Mercy for the things I said that I should not have said and the things I withheld that I should have given. Mercy for the pride that sometimes convinces me I can handle things without you, until I cannot. Look on my affliction and my distress, Father, not to remind me how bad things are, but because I know that when you look, you do not look with judgment. You look with compassion. You see clearly and you respond with love. You look the way a doctor looks at a wound, not to condemn the person for having it, but to understand exactly what is needed to bring healing. Look on me tonight, Lord. See exactly what I need, and respond with the mercy that is entirely consistent with who you are. Your word says that your mercies are new every morning, which means that right now, at this very moment that is tipping toward tomorrow, new mercies are already being prepared. They are coming. They will be waiting when I open my eyes. Let me wake up to them, Father, and let me receive them with the gratitude of someone who knows they are a gift. The needy will not always be forgotten. The hope of the afflicted will never perish. Father, I want to pray this over everyone listening tonight, over the one who has been waiting so long that hope has started to feel naive, the one who has been praying the same prayer for years and has had to choose over and over again whether to keep believing or to let go, the one who has watched others receive what they have been asking for and has had to wrestle with the silence in their own life. Your word says the hope of the afflicted will never perish. Never. It does not run out. It does not expire. It does not disappear just because circumstances have not changed. Hope that is rooted in you is not dependent on what is visible. It is not damaged by delay. It is not destroyed by disappointment. Because it is not based on what is happening in the natural. It is based on who you are in the eternal. And who you are never changes. Father, let hope rise up tonight in every heart that has been struggling to hold on to it. Let it rise not as a feeling, but as a knowing, a deep, quiet, unshakable knowing that you are still working, that you have not forgotten, that the story is not over, that what has not happened yet does not mean it will not happen, that your timing, though it sometimes feels agonizingly slow from where we stand, is always exactly right. The hope of the afflicted will never perish. I believe that, Lord. Help me to keep believing it when it is hard. And remind the person tonight who needed to hear it more than anything else. Rise, Lord. Do not let mere mortals triumph. Father, I want to pray this prayer boldly tonight. Arise. There are situations in my life and in the lives of people I love where it feels like the wrong things are winning, where darkness seems to be gaining ground, where fear and sickness and division and injustice seem louder than truth and peace and healing and love. And in those moments, Lord, this is my prayer. Arise. Not because you have been absent, not because you have been sleeping, but because I need to see you move. I need to see your hand at work in the situations I have almost stopped believing you can change. I need a reminder that you are not merely watching what is happening in my life and in this world, but that you are actively, powerfully, sovereignly involved. Rise, Lord. Let not what is wrong have the final word. Let not what is broken stay broken without your redemptive touch. Let not fear and hopelessness and darkness have the victory in any situation I have brought before you tonight. You are the God who parts seas, who brings down walls, who opens prison doors at midnight, who raises the dead and restores the years the locusts have eaten and makes a way where there is no way. Rise, Lord. Move on my behalf. Move on behalf of the people I love. Move in this world in ways that remind a watching generation that you are still God, that you are still on your throne, that you are still the same God who has never once failed to keep his word. I'm not afraid, Father, because you will arise. You always have. and you always will. Let the nations know they are only mortal. Father, this final declaration of Psalm 9 brings me to a place of deep surrender, because everything this world puts its hope in is mortal. Every system, every institution, every plan made by human hands, every power that positions itself as ultimate, every voice that claims to have the final word on what is possible and what is not, all of it mortal, temporary, passing. But you are not mortal. You are eternal. You were here before any of it existed. You will be here long after all of it has faded. Your kingdom is the only kingdom with no end. Your word is the only word that never returns void. Your purposes are the only purposes that cannot ultimately be stopped. Lord, tonight I release my grip on the things of this world that I have been holding onto too tightly. The plans I have been white-knuckling. The outcomes I have been trying to guarantee. The timelines I have constructed and the expectations I have placed on situations that are ultimately in your hands. All of it is mortal. All of it is temporary. All of it will pass. But you remain. Your love remains. Your faithfulness remains. Your purposes for my life remain. And as long as those things are true, I have everything I need to close my eyes tonight and rest. Let the nations know they are only mortal. And let me know, and keep knowing, that you are not. Father, I want to pray the heart of Psalm 9 back over my life as I prepare to sleep. I will praise you with all my heart, not just in this prayer, but with how I live tomorrow. Let my life be an act of praise that is visible to everyone who encounters me. I will tell of your wonderful deeds. Remind me of them, Lord. Let me not forget what you have done. Let gratitude be the lens through which I see my life. I rejoice in you, not in my circumstances, in you, unchanging, faithful, worthy, good. You are my refuge and my stronghold. Tonight I run to you. I stop running from you and toward you, and in you I am safe. You have never forsaken those who seek you. I am seeking you, and so I am held. You do not ignore the cry of the afflicted. My cries have been heard, every one, and you are answering in ways I can see and in ways I cannot see yet. The hope of the afflicted will never perish. My hope is alive tonight, not because everything is resolved but because you are faithful. And you will arise, Lord. You always do. You always have. And the things that have been pressing in against me cannot stand against you. Father, let me sleep tonight in the confidence of everything this psalm has declared, not in the confidence of my own strength, not in the confidence that everything will look the way I want it to look tomorrow, but in the confidence that you are God, that you are on your throne, that you are judging righteously, that you see me, that you hear me, that you have never once forsaken anyone who came to you seeking. Let that confidence be my pillow tonight. Let it be what my head rests on when my eyes close. Let it carry me through the quiet hours of the night and be the first thing that greets me when morning comes. And when morning comes, Father, let me rise with praise already on my lips. Let the first thought of my heart tomorrow be the same as the first thought of this prayer tonight. You are worthy, Lord. You have always been worthy. You will always be worthy. I will praise you with all my heart, tomorrow and all the days that remain. In the name of Jesus Christ, who is the praise of all generations and the hope of every afflicted soul. Amen. If this prayer has strengthened your heart tonight, please share it with someone who is struggling to hold on to hope. Someone who needs to be reminded that God sees them, that God hears them, that God has never once forsaken anyone who came to him seeking. Leave a comment below and let us know how we can pray for you. We read every one. Subscribe so you never miss a prayer.